Today on Dirt Road CRED Jeep News, let's talk about some vehicles that have made a proud return in the Stellantis fleet, some cool features about the Moab 392 that were just revealed this morning, as well as what we predict the new Duck number 3 drop will be. There's a lot to unpack in today's video. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Before we get too far in today's video, we have a couple announcements to make. The first one is that our half-door winner has been chosen. He's based out of Texas, so we're going to be shipping these doors right down to him, so congratulations. And then the next thing we wanted to talk about is the fact that now through January 31st, 2026, we're still giving away the Mopar high-top steel fender flares for the Jeep Wrangler JL, as well as $1,500 on top of it. Now, this is going to go through the entire month of January 2026. You're going to get the exact same set that we installed on my dad's 2022 Willys, which look absolutely fantastic. There's no purchase necessary to enter any of our giveaways, and if you want to see the official rules, be sure to visit dirtroadcredmedia.com. Let's get some housekeeping out of the way. There's been some things, of course, that have been dropped the past few weeks or the past month that honestly we've been busy and it didn't make sense to make a whole video on them. One of the first things that was kind of just completely out of the blue was the Jeep Gladiator Convoy. We've now learned that Convoy wasn't a code name for an actual vehicle. It was the name of the amount of drops, or a drop style convoy of Gladiator trims. I guess they're going to be doing it similar to the 12 for 12 program, but the first one was, I think it's called Shadow Ops. The first Gladiator drop was Shadow Ops, so it gets some black badging on the outside, black exterior graphics. I think it comes with the steel bumpers and a winch. So a graphics package, the winch on there, and then I'm not sure if there's anything inside, but that is one of the first Convoy drops. So are we going to be seeing more to come from that? I'd imagine so. And also, why wasn't the 41 edition maybe the first part of the Convoy drop? Who knows? But either way, it seems like those are going to be continuously coming. There's just no dates, no times, no web banners, nothing on Jeep.com. So more to come on that, but just wanted to bring that up, that they are not forgetting about the Gladiator. It just seems like they're doing it in a differently structured way. Pretty cool stuff, but not big enough to really make crazy news. I mean, if it was like a 392 Gladiator or an XR Gladiator, which you never know, they might come out. We're just not sure what's yet to come, but we'll talk about it a little bit later about the market of the Gladiators, which is very promising. So I'll kind of give you our thoughts on that once we get to that point. But yeah, so Gladiator Convoy drops have been happening. Another cool thing that just recently dropped on January 1st was the return of the TRX. We kind of all knew that this was going to happen. The RHO was not a suitable replacement for the TRX. I know a lot of people like it. The 3-liter Hurricane, especially the high output, does make good power. It's nothing like a 6.2-liter supercharged Hellcat, though. People have been waiting for that TRX to return, and it did return at, honestly, about $20,000 less than that previous generation TRX, the last one to be released. It is also making 777 horsepower. You guys will have to double check me, but I think the original TRX was about 702, somewhere around there. So they've added on all that horsepower, and it was a direct, matter in fact, right in your face to the Ford Raptor R. It now makes more power than the Raptor R. But yeah, so it kind of seems like Ford and Stellantis are playing a game of who's got the bigger engine on the ballpark, or who's playing around with the biggest horsepower here. And obviously Stellantis just picked it back up a notch. What does this mean, though, for the future of Stellantis? Are they getting more brazen with engine configurations? Are they getting more carb approvals? Are they able to start putting bigger engines in these vehicles? Seems kind of interesting to me that they're able to get that much horsepower. They've had to have changed the tune or added a lot more internally to get it up to that. And how does that play around with the carb legalities, which ties perfectly into our next statement here. If you guys have been in the CARB states, including Pennsylvania and a few more throughout the country, it looks like the Moab 392 is finally open for you to order. It took a couple months. It was about a month and a half, 2 months, until the CARB approval looks like it came down through and is good to go. And now we're ready to go. So I have actually been seeing these all over Facebook. The Moab 392s are being delivered. And I'll be honest, it does look different than a Rubicon 392. If you sat the two of them next to each other, you would probably look a little bit different at both of them. The Moab, now that we know, I saw a video last night, Ryan, it has all red stitching inside. It's like a regular Rubicon, the whole seats, everything. It's like a Rubicon X just with Moab on the outside and a 392 under the hood. So a lot different, but it does come in some cool colors. I saw one in Mojito with a Sky One Touch, looked really clean. But for the guys and gals in CARB states, you should be able to place an order right now. So if you've been looking to do that, be sure to use our dealership affiliate program. At least give it a shot and see if you can get a good deal on one of these things, depending on what state you're in. So give that a shot. It's on our website, and you guys can check that out as well. I know that we're pretty excited for it just because there was no reason it needed to take 2 months to get approved. It seems like all bureaucratic paperwork, I'm sure. It's like a couple people in offices were like, well, all right, we'll give it to them in the new year. So either way, you can order those now. So very exciting stuff for the Moab 392. And even more to come in just a few days, Ryan. We're, 4 days away before the third drop in the drop zone for 12 for 12. We have been talking to Jeep, and we're trying to get more information ahead of time so we can perhaps film these, check them out, and then launch it as soon as they are publicly dropped. But for duck number 3, plaid Jeep, gold bill, prediction is the 85th anniversary. It's got to be. I mean, Jeep or the Willis, we're still on that debate on our YouTube. Even though let us know down below in the comments, because we thought we answered it. We had 1,000 votes on that poll the one time. Willis or Willies. And it was more Willies, so that's why we say it that way. But 1941 until now, 85 years. Very curious to see if it's the 85th anniversary. They've done a lot of plaid work in that on the ducks, and I think they would probably incorporate that into the seat. And I'm hoping for an 85th anniversary 392. That would be the one that I could see more luxury, more premium, more of the bronze. Maybe they'll put Goldilocks out as a color, so I can order one by now. But who knows? That is our prediction for duck number 3, and I think we're pretty solid on it. But it could change. You never know. Could be from the tallest mountain peaks, the Jeep, Woodchuck edition. You never know, or Lumberjack edition. So we'll see. I think it's the 85th anniversary, but we'll know in about 4 days. Of course, stay on the channel. We'll let you guys know what drops and any information we have on it. Speaking of that, one of those first drops, the Fox Commando, has anyone here in the comments been selected as like a Fox Commando like purchaser? We heard crickets back. But curious if anyone got one. Drop us in the comments if you've been responded to. But up next, kind of let's talk about the state of the Stellantis, let's just say their outlook. Obviously Stellantis is a publicly traded stock. There's a lot of forms and documentation that has to come out after each quarter, right? This is publicly traded. Their shareholders and investors must see these statistics so they can make, judged and valuable decisions on what they're doing. So it looks like Stellantis is over 4% increase in sales year over year. That was a full year over year from what we saw. And then the biggest one that what we're seeing is that in Q4 year over year, so Q4 of 2024 compared to Q4 of 2025, Gladiator sales are up 93%. So almost double what they did in 2024. That's crazy to me. But then when you think about it, it's really not, Gladiators, especially the past few months, the 2025 leftovers have been so heavily discounted with not only factory incentives, dealer incentives, coupons. I was seeing Mojaves and Rubicons pop up for like $42,000 to $44,000. Absolutely no joke there. You guys can look on Auto Trader and they're out there. Some of them might be scams, but there are a lot of them out there. And honestly, for us, it's just a better buy. I'm a diehard Wrangler guy. Ryan's had so many Wranglers. I've had so many Wranglers. But the Gladiator just kind of seems like a better buy right now. I'm not going to get a Wrangler without a bed when I can get one with a bed and it's $10,000 to $15,000 less. Kind of just doesn't make sense. So you're pushed towards the Gladiator a little bit more. And I do think that this coming year, we're going to see a lot more modifications, a lot more upgrades, and maybe some new things coming out from our vendors on Gladiators. Because if that many are getting sold, those same folks are going to be out looking for mods. They're going to be looking at things to do with them. And honestly, I just think it's an all-around great vehicle. The only thing I would say is just a little change it needs to have is a 5.7 liter Hemi underneath the hood like ours does. But looking at what the statistics are for kind of the year over the year and the sales that Jeep did, does it make sense for them to reinvest a Hemi into the vehicle when they're already profiting on the Gladiator currently? You got to sometimes take the profits and not keep reinvesting. And I don't know if they're going to. I don't know if it would make sense for them to really put the money into it to see if it then works out, see if people are upset with the price. When the Gladiators are kind of selling like they are as is, does it make sense for them to do? Now, the good thing for you guys, if you've been interested in doing so, you guys know that we 5.7 swapped ours through America's Most Wanted 4x4, and the quality of that compared to a factory build is absolutely far superior. We absolutely love what they did with ours, and we will have a lot more content on that. So I know people have been saying, you just guys picked up a Gladiator, you have another one of the 5.7. Do not worry. A lot more videos to come, trailering, some other cool videos that we're going to be doing with that. But that's kind of the way to go, I would say, with the Gladiator, is it just needs a little bit more pep under the hood. But before we get into our 2026 Mojave, one cool thing that Anthony just texted me, he said that the manuals are now back on the back end to order on the Wrangler. However, a lot of them are red or grayed out on restriction, but they are coming back out right now. So it seems like within the next few weeks, everything will be updated. You should be able to order a manual transmission JL again, but we're just waiting to hear a little bit more. The other thing that's been completely MIA, the Wrangler 4xe, and now people are saying the Grand Cherokee 4xe just kind of disappeared from the website. So there's not even really mentioned. If you go on the electrification tab, they're not there at all. Is that a sign of what's to come? I mean, I would just cut the losses at this point. Like, I know that's an easy thing for me to say sitting here, not managing billions of dollars in 4xe components, but I don't know what else you're going to do. I mean, I think a lot of people that have them, I've seen the resale value on those things, and just the overall kind of, like, we wanted to like it. We don't like to hate on a vehicle, especially when it's a Wrangler, but the overall just opinion is just seems to be, it's been really hurt. So we'll have to see what that is to come. But speaking of our Jeep, the 2026 Mojave that we just picked up in Purple Rain, you guys, thank you so much for all the comments. We read through them, and it seems like the biggest things you guys want, kind of just talking right away, is don't mess up or ruin the Mojave suspension, because why would you buy a Mojave and rip that off? And secondly, everyone keeps saying about portals. So we've gone through this. Obviously, if we wanted to keep the factory suspension, we could add a set of portals, and we could keep all of the factory suspension. The thing with portals is a set of 74 weld portals are $17,000. You have to replace the gear oil, if I'm not mistaken, every 3,000 miles. And if you go over a 37, if you start getting up into bigger tire sizes, it doesn't mitigate the need for you to upgrade your axles. So we're curious on what your thoughts are. Do we go the portal route? Do we go with a lift kit but try and keep our stock Mojave shocks at least? Or how do we go about that? We're looking for your feedback down below because we are going to be ordering parts soon, and we just want to see what your thoughts are on that. So if you don't mind helping us out with that portion, we'd be very grateful, because suspension and wheels and tires are probably going to be the first thing we do to that Jeep. So thank you guys, though, for all those comments, and we're reading them, and we want to just hear a little bit more. So if you guys stayed to the end of this, definitely drop a comment down below on how you feel we should do with that. It's a big investment for the portals, but if we can do it, get a review, drive it around, and see what they're like, it's still a dang huge investment. But if you guys wouldn't mind commenting, because kind of the whole point of this build is to have your input and build a Jeep that the audience loves. And of course, there's more to come to that. We're just going to keep putting subtle cues in this thing, but drop the comments on what we should do suspension-wise and maybe wheel and tire-wise with that. We're thinking 37s, but help us come out with a cool wheel. We want retro, we want rewind, so give us some ideas, and we have some vendors that we already work with, but we wouldn't mind seeing some new ones in the mix and seeing some new wheel options that we could utilize with this Jeep. Now also, you know, we've got some new merch coming up on the site in about, I keep saying it, but it's about 4 or 5 days. We got some really cool winter merch that's going to be coming out. Just got an email back from our local embroidery company that's doing it, so we'll have that up very soon. And we're looking forward to showing that off, and as well as some new giveaways coming out within the next few months. But overall though, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this news video. Ryan's behind the camera, and I'm here talking to you. We want you to get out there and earn yours.